we are on the rotate tool, and you're going to take it from here. So with the rotate tool, under it we have the reflect tool also, and we have the shortcuts also here. So R for the rotate tool, and then O for the reflect tool. Right. So to work with this, I'll first go with, okay, I'll go with a rectangle, right? And then I'll give it a gradient, outline. I'll clear the outline from here. So I click for the outline color to come in front, and then I click here now to do away with the outline color. Right. So let's move in. So I go for my rotate tool. Now with the rotate tool, once I click on the rotate tool, I see this, right? And this thing showing here, something like a target in here, showing me that this is my center of rotation. So if I click and then drag, it rotates around this center or this axis. Now I can click anywhere once, and then my center of rotation comes there. So if I should click and drag, it rotates it around that point. Okay. So once anywhere that I click, my center of rotation will be there, and then I can rotate around that axis or that point. I can even click outside the shape, and then my center of rotation is down here, and then I can rotate this. Right. So that is all about the rotate tool. Next one in there, that is the reflect tool, and it also works with the center also. So I click here for my reflection to be here, and then I can do my reflection. It works similar to that of the rotate tool. Okay, so with this one, let me do away with this, and then let me go to file, and then I'll place an image in here. So I'll go into my documents. I think I have some images in there. Okay. Let me check desktop. Okay. So back into documents, and I'll go with, okay, let me go with this image, place. So I join here, so I have this image here. Right. So with this image, I go for my reflect to have my center of reflection in here. So I just do this, and it reflects. It's for reflection. If we should have gone for rotation, you will see that the image would turn upside down. Right? But this didn't turn upside down. This was right here, and then now we are having her here because we are using the reflect tool. If I should go for the rotate tool and I do it, you see that it turns it upside down. Okay. Yes. So let me undo it and go for my reflect tool again. So reflect tool, I click here, and then I do my reflection right here. Can click here, and then I do my reflection here. Okay, so that's it for the reflect and then the rotate tool. Okay, so let me do it with the image. The next that you are going to do, that is the scale tool, the share tool, and then reshape tool. So that's, let me first go for a shape. And then the shape, once I drew the shape, it gave me a gradient in here. That is the previous or the last thing that I used. So Illustrator actually remembers the last thing that you did, right? And it will repeat that same thing for you until you make changes to it. So let me drag it back. So I go for my scale tool. So with the scale tool is for scaling or for sizing, right? So I can click and then increase or decrease the size. And then This also, we can see the center here, so he's scaling it from this as the center. If I click here for the center to be here, it will scale it from that point or from that perspective. So you can scale it bigger or smaller. That is for the scale tool. The next one in here is the share tool. There is for some kind of distortion in here, right? So you can just share the shape in here. That is the share tool. The next one there, that is the reshape tool. So I click here, it adds an anchor. Right? It adds an anchor in here. If I click also, sort of adding an anchor in here. Now, should I go for my direct selection tool, right, and apply this to it, because it has created anchors in there that I can manipulate, right, or apply changes to. If I go there, my shaper tool, I can move the anchors right here. Right. So that's it for the scale to the share tool and then the reshape tool. So let me do away with this shape and then we move on to the next tool. Now the next tool in here, we have the width tool, and then under which you have the warp tool, the twirl tool, the packer tool, the bloat tool, the scallop tool, crystallize tool, and then the wrinkle tool, sorry. Right. So from there also we have the free form tool, like the free transform tool, and then the puppet warp tool. So we are going to do with the shaper tool, the width tool. Okay. So with the width tool, it works on outlines. So if I should go for the line segment tool, I draw my line in here. It has no fill and then it has no outline color. So I come in here and I give it an outline color of red. So I go in for my width tool, then I can click and drag to increase the width. So it works on outlines. So I can apply this to my outline. If I should draw a shape which has outline also, this shape has outline, let me give it a fill color of blue. Right? Then the outline is red. With the width, so I can still work on the stroke or the width. So that is the work of the width tool. Alright, so let me go select all and then delete. The next one in there, that is the warp tool. So with the warp tool, I draw this. Wow, this time my stroke is becoming very big. So I click in here, then give it a smaller stroke, or let me go in here. No, sorry, right here. Click on this arrow, and then I clear the stroke from there, so it has no stroke or outline there. And position it here. So I'll go in for my warp tool. So with the warp tool, okay, I click and then push it inside, or I can just click and drag it outside for some kind of distortion in here. Right, that is the work of the warp tool. Click and drag inside or drag outside to distort the shape right there. So let me clear this, then draw another shape in here. So I'll go in there, right click, and then the next is the twirl tool. The twirl tool, I just click and hold, and then it draws the shape for me to create a twirl in here for me. So that is the work of the twirl tool. Composition is inside or outside, and it will still twirl it for me. Right. Okay. So the longer you hold, the longer or the more tool that you are likely to have. So I go with this right here, with my shift and resize it proportionally. I draw another shape in here, change the color to, okay, so I have this shape right here. I go down there and then I have the Parker tool. So with the Parker tool, once I click, it pulls it towards the center, right, of the circle. So look at this, when I click to pull it towards the center of the circle. Inside, right, it pulls it towards the center of the circle. So that is the work of the Parker tool. Right. So the Parker tool, some part is supposed to be inside the shape and then some parts outside the shape. If I position everything inside, nothing happens. If I position everything outside, nothing happens. So some part of the circle should be inside the shape and then some part outside the shape. Right. So it puts it towards the center of the circle. That is for the Parker tool. Now I go in here for the Bluetooth tool. The Bluetooth tool does the opposite of the Parker tool. So the Parker tool pushes the object or the shape towards the center of the circle, and then the Bluetooth tool pulls it away from the center. So once I click, the Bluetooth pulls it away from the center. So the Bluetooth tool works opposite the Parker tool, or works opposite to that of the Parker tool. So the Parker tool pulls the object to the center of the circle, and the Bluetooth pulls it away from the center of the circle. You have next, that's a scallop tool, right? Yes. So this is what it does. So you can click to get these kind of shapes at your edges. That's the scallop tool. The next one in the that's the crystallize tool. So the crystallize tool, okay. Let me work on this shape. I go there and then using the crystallize tool, right. So it also works either to the center or away from the center. Okay. This shape is not okay. The shape is not selected. That's why it's not happening to it. This shape is the one selected, or the active shape. If I go in here, I click this, let me resize it. It's not selected. Let me delete this from there. Okay, and work with this. So I have this selected. With the crystallize tool, I can click and hold to get it created over there. Then the last one there is the wrinkle tool. Let me go with a new shape. And then the wrinkle tool, I'll go with it. Right. Then so I click and hold and you see what's happening. It's creating wrinkles at the edge of the shape. So click and drag, right, and it's creating wrinkles over there for me. So that is for the wrinkle tool. The next one in here is the free form or free transform tool. Now with the free transform tool, like, let me select everything. Right. So I draw this, and then with my selection tool, I can resize this, right, or I can rotate it, right, and the free transform tool also does similar thing, right, just that it has some other things that it can do aside this one. So with this, I go in here for my free transform tool. So once I click on it, it opens these tools for me. It comes with these tools. So with this selected, I have the free transform. So with the free transform, I can position my cursor here and then resize it. Right? And then it's resizing it from one point. Right? So you can see that down here is no moving. Right? So if I do it also, the top left corner will still be there, will not move. Now if I want to resize this proportionally, right? If I want to resize this proportionally, then I have to go for the constraint. So once I click on this, it's in black or gray. That means that it's selected, it's active. So I can go with this and then it will resize it proportionally from 1 point. Then if I move around, I have the cursor turn into a different thing. So let me uncheck this and then I can rotate it. Right. Once my cursor turns into this, that means I can rotate it. If I bring it to the anchor here and I see this, that means I want to resize it. We have this also here for perspective distort. So once I click, you click on the anchors to do that, or the note. So once I do this, like, I have my perspective distortion in here. So it's with only the anchors. So you do that by clicking and dragging on the anchors to do that. I go in here also, I have the free distort. Right, so this works with individual anchors. So I click on this anchor, I can move it. Click on this anchor, like, I can move it or distort it. So that's it for the free transform tool. So once I select a new tool, the options that came in here goes away. I have in here the puppet swap tool. Like the puppet swap tool that is also used for some kind of distortion in here. So I go with this. I have this point, I can drag it to create a distortion over here, or I can click to pin or to get a pin in here. I can also use that for my distortion. Like you can create your own pins in there that you can use as many as you want for your distortion. Okay. So I click and then drag. I click in here and drag to create my distorted shape in here. So that's for the puppet warp tool for distortion. Right. Then the next tool in here is the shape builder. Right. One of the most powerful tools in Illustrator, which I love using a lot. It makes creation of logos very simple. Right. So with the shape builder in here, we are going to look at that in our next tutorial. Okay, so we end it for the width tool and then these tools or its tools underneath, and then the free transform tool here. So subscribe, like our videos, and then wait for the next lessons.